Hello, my name is David Markey. I'm here talking about my new history book titled Patton's Secret Army of French Resistance Fighters. On this channel, we will be discussing history and engaging with others who enjoy learning about history. The French resistance served in many roles to support Patton's Third Army. They served as guides, gathered intelligence, mopped up pockets of German resistance, and even served as infantry units to guard American tanks and armored vehicles. General Patton and the Third United States Army were sent to liberate the Brittany Peninsula, and there were 30,000 French resistance fighters waiting there who had been living and operating behind enemy lines for months, or some of them even years. And they were waiting to support the United States Army as much as they could when the Americans finally arrived, beginning on August 1st, 1944. In today's video, I'm going to be taking questions from readers who have already purchased the book. Thank you to everyone who has helped make the first month and a half a great success. If you have any more questions, you can email me in the link below. First question is from Marcus C. in San Antonio. Thank you for reaching out. Marcus is wondering where I got the idea for this book. I've always been a fan of learning about World War II history. I love history. I lived in Paris for a year, and I was always fascinated by the French resistance, and I got to spend time exploring the city. And around the city, there are little plaques where French resistance fighters fought or died during the liberation of Paris. So this led me to investigate more and learn more about the U.S. Army and French resistance and how they work together. I did research every day at the France's National Archives and the France's Military Archives in Vincennes, and that is where I read the documents and firsthand testimony of French resistance fighters and U.S. Army soldiers who fought during liberation. Second question is from James H. in Connecticut. Thank you for your question, James. James is wondering about the chain of command for the French resistance. This is a long and a little bit difficult question, and it's one that the book hammers out in detail. There are many complexities and many factors, but thankfully the response can be broken down easily because the military makes things very easy to understand in chain of command. There's always superior, and orders travel down from there. So the difficulty in the French resistance is there is a recognized head of the French resistance who is Charles de Gaulle, who's a free French leader. All the resistance groups in France came together to support General de Gaulle, and he spent time in London and in the French colony of Algeria, where he led the French resistance from a headquarters there. Now, on the Allied side, the American and British, there is a different command structure centered around SHIEF, the Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force. This was led by General Dwight D. Eisenhower. Eisenhower worked closely with de Gaulle, and de Gaulle's appointed number 2 general for the French resistance, General Marie-Pierre Koenig, and together they integrated French resistance into the United States Army command structure. When General Koenig and General Eisenhower worked together in London, the two of them came up with a plan to establish a French resistance headquarters in London. It would be led by an American, a British, and a French chief of staff. And this group would then plan operations for the French resistance in France. Now, they understood that when the Americans arrived in France, the Americans and the British armies would be taking the lead. So they wanted to make it as easy as possible for the French resistance to meet with American and British leaders and receive orders from them. So they would be the ones directing the French resistance as much as possible. Third question is from Travis T. in Wyoming. Thank you for your question, Travis. Travis is wondering, why am I focused so much on the French resistance when the United States Army led the liberation of France? This is a very important question, and there are many There are countless amazing history books that describe every battle and facet of the United States Army in World War II. My book centers around several important questions raised by top American generals that led me to explore this question. I'm going to read from an excerpt from General Dwight D. Eisenhower describing the role of the French resistance. He writes, "Special mention must be made of the great assistance given to us by the FFI, French resistance, in reducing Britain." Another quote from General Bradley, another top American general, is, "The French resistance was worth a hell of a lot of divisions to us. We needed them, and they were there when needed." Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a lot more content coming in the future. Thank you.